people never got there on time. And I sing it all down, she's rolling down the line. Take up the oak and plow the fields around. Gone are the days when the lady said, please, Jimmy Jack Jones, won't you come to me? Brown-eyed women and red grenadine. Bottle was dusty, but the liquor was clean. Sound of thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man's 1920 when he stepped to the bar, drank to the dregs of the whiskey jar. 1930 when the wall caved in, he made his way selling red-eye gin. Brown-eyed women and red grenadine. Bottle was dusty, but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man getting on. Lila Jones was the mother of twins, 2 times over and the rest was sin. Raised 8 boys, only I turned bad. Didn't get the things that the other ones had. Brown-eyed women and red grenadine. Bottle was dusty, but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder when the rain poured down, and it looks like the old man's getting old. Tumble down shack in Bigfoot County, snowed so hard that the roof caved in. Lila Jones went to meet her God, and the old man never was the same again. Daddy made whiskey and he made it well. Cost $2 and burned like hell. I cut hickory for to buy the still. sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man's getting on. Gone are the days when the odds fall down. He'd take up the yoke and plow the fields around. Gone are the days when the lady said, please, gently Jack Jones, won't you come to me? Bright-eyed, living in that vanity. The bottle was dusty, but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring down, and it looks like the old man getting old. And it looks like the old man's getting old.
Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to Coding with the Dead, part of the Studio Remote family of web streams brought to you by Columbia University Libraries. My name is Moacir P. I'm the Research Data Librarian at Columbia University in the libraries, and I am here to do some troubleshooting today as I work on my Ember.js app called WanderText. So as you can see over here, I have a CSS problem that I can't really solve. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not behaving like I expect it to, and there are a couple of things I have to try to see where the problem is happening. And then the next thing that I'm going to do, assuming I solve that, which, you know, one should never, whatever, then I want to do some testing of gestures in the WanderText Ember app because they don't seem to be working correctly at the moment. And in the meantime, we have this show from 1971 playing in the background or in the foreground when I'm not speaking. So enjoy. Go ahead and chat if you have any questions or wonder why I'm doing what I'm doing or anything along those lines. And away I go. So let me start with bringing up the state of the app right now. Is there's a bunch of new, a bunch of dependencies have been updated. I'm a little bit wary of doing these updates right now because the updates I did last week broke things. But most of these seem pretty safe, but I'll skip them for now. The Ember leaflet jump from beta 7 to 5.0 is completely harmless because I'm already using beta 7 and I saw that the only difference is the bump, like no new code. But I was just checking these to see because I was having a little bit of hiccups before the show with the app. So I can't quite remember where I finished off last week with the app, but here's how it looks right now when you go to the texts route. So this is like allegedly a list of books, and it's it's 10 long, so you can see that it scrolls like this. And if I reload, it just gives a new picture. It's supposed to be like a cat, and then it just has all these fake titles. Now the sort of hiccupy thing is I think last week I hadn't made the font large yet. And now once I made the font large, I realized that the text wouldn't fit anymore. And this is kind of obvious, but in the Figma example, let me just do this way. So I was rather conveniently using these extremely short titles, Nightwood here, and for places, Paris, France. So obviously this doesn't take up any space. And similarly, the picture was being the picture was appropriately sized, whereas now it's squashing it. So I can let me try one little thing to see about fixing the squashing of the picture.
When he lets a woman hold him in her hand, you just might find yourself out there on horseback in the dark, just riding and running across the desert sand. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that works. So now you can see when I enlarge the website, the pictures are now the right size. So if I scrunch this down, I think it'll. When I reload, I should get another picture. So, yeah, okay. So let me get rid of this height. Let me just have width auto and see what happens here.
Gotta make it somehow on the dreams you still.
Yeah, so I need
Don't give it
let's
up.
do height full. So it's the full height of the thingy.
That only love can
Okay, so now it works as hoped.
only love.
Okay, so like I said, there's the reason these have these underscores here is because in this case these are book titles allegedly, and they should be italicized. So here in the code I have if there's a property called markdown name, print that in an H3, otherwise print just the regular name. So since these are texts and they do actually have the see if I go to places,
To cause such pain.
they don't have the little the underscore, nor do they have the picture because it's just the place, right? So again, this is a randomly generated list of places. And if I go back to texts, then we see that they have these underscores to indicate that they should be italicized because it's written in Markdown, and in Markdown, an underscore on both sides means italicize everything in between. But obviously, it's not going to do that automatically, so we have to incorporate this helper called Markdown to HTML. So I want to, I just have it commented out here. But I'm going to leave this as it is, and then I want to point out that as it closes in, it starts truncating the text. So the text starts getting cut off and gets replaced by these ellipses, which is exactly the behavior I want. I think that looks great. I think it's really cool, and I think it's exciting to me. But now,
'Cause you're afraid to fall.
this way. So now, if I replace this data markdown name with markdown to HTML,
Comes a time when the blind man
we see that it becomes italicized. That's the behavior we're expecting. But the ellipses are gone.
gotta make it somehow.
So what happened? Where did those ellipses go? So the thing is those ellipses are tied to the H3, if you can see here. So inside this list item component, you have an H3, which gets this white space, no wrap, and truncate. Truncate is a sort of master style in Tailwind that gives us the ellipses and all this other stuff. Pack My Dunk X says hi. Hi, Pack My Dunk X. And then we have, but it doesn't get reproduced here. So something funny is happening here. So let's look at this text. And we see kind of the problem is that we have an H3 with a div inside of it, with a P inside of it, with an M inside of it. So it has all of these container, like a container div, which presumably is from the helper, from the markdown to. Okay, well let me get rid of the helper.
Words come out like an angry stream.
And compare it to how it works without the helper.
Things you could never mean.
Okay, so now we have this H3, and I open it up, and it's just plain text, just boring old empty text. And if I replace that with the helper,
You got a lot of words you've got to stand behind. Comes a time
we've got, like I said, this div shows up. That's I think an unavoidable aspect of Ember, and then this P shows up, and then this M shows up. So the M is the result of the underscores. The P is because the helper seems to only be able to, it always wants to wrap whatever text you send it in a, if it's just a line of text, it wants to wrap it in P tags. And then obviously the div for the helper. So if we look here, we see that this H3 has this overflow text overflow ellipsis, and then if we click on this EM, we see that the EM also has this hidden ellipsis, text overflow ellipsis, overflow hidden, white space, no wrap. So it has, what I'm getting at is that this apply white space, no wrap, and truncate, which is affixed to the H3 and to the H3 EM, like the EM descendant, it's being applied here, but we don't see the ellipsis, nor do we see the ellipsis here. So something is in this div and in this P is messing things up. So I figured I would try to solve this. So I'm not going to solve this here in the app, but I'm going to solve it with a new thing. So
just a reason, others just a mind. I don't trust nothing, but I know it come out right. I say it once again now. Well, I hope you understand. When it's done over, oh, a man is just a man. Playing in the band. Break, break on the land. Tower, well, at my command, you just keep it turning while I'm playing in the band. A man among you got no sin upon his hand. Let him cast on and be playing in the band, playing in the band. Hey, break, yeah, break on the ground.
So 50 pixels is way too short for this experiment. And 200 is too long, so
well, at my command. While I'm playing in the band, man among you got no sin upon his hand. Let him cast on it be playing in the band, playing in the band.
Okay, so we have more or less the same thing reproduced here. We have a div that I've arbitrarily made 200 pixels wide, and then we have this H3 filling it, okay? So now let's add the truncation stuff. So that's all this stuff. Okay, so it works. So now, and it works with the EM also. So we know that's not the problem. So now let's keep adding things. Okay, so the P breaks it. All right. Okay. So my suspicion was a little bit right that this had to do with blocking. So when I make the P display inline, then the ellipses show back up. So maybe this is what will work with the actual app. And so then let's add a div.
Playing in the band. Hey, break. Hey, break on the land. Playing in the band.
Broken again. So let's do this.
Hey, break on the land. Playing like a wave upon the sand. Break, break. Why playing in the band?
Woo! All right. So I seem to have solved this problem, and it's not even the half-hour mark, so I'm going to have to sit
I went down to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. I looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign. And fire across the heaven, just in plain and black and white. Get the girl, just there's gonna be a party tonight. Hey, Saturday night. Hey, one more Saturday night. Hey, God way up in heaven for whatever it was worth. Thought he'd have a big old party and he called it Friday. Maybe young and crazy, but I can't see reason why. For fighting or complaining when we should be having fun. Hey, Saturday night. One more Saturday night. Yeah, yeah.
All right, solved.
With a basement full of dynamite and love artillery.
Sorry, I'm excited.
Everybody getting high, got the rock and broke the midnight that whole place.
I mean, to be fair, this is a ridiculous solution. The markdown helper, in my opinion, should not be putting that paragraph marker in, or that should be something I should be able to turn off, which I've looked at the code, if I recall correctly, because I've run into this problem before. I've looked at the code and there is no way to turn that off. And so that's a problem, and then the div thing is also a problem. It may be the case that I don't actually need the div rule. Oh, you can't see that it worked. There we go. Alright, so let's get rid of the div side of this and see if it still works. My suspicion is no, because a div is going to be display block by default. Yep, so you need the div here. Also, nesting CSS this is a goofy little syntax that I'm definitely going to have to get used to. But also that means I don't need this anymore, so I can put this up here.
Hey, another Saturday night.
So, will it be the case that the titles of the texts are typically like too long? Maybe. But this does everything I wanted it to do. So let's remove that test file.
Hey, another Saturday night. Hey, another Saturday night. One more Saturday. One more Saturday night. Hey, another Saturday night.
Oh, the reason this is written like this is because one of the ideas I had was to put the H3 tag inside. This works. It's a very hilarious fix, but it works. Okay. Let's commit.
Driving that train, I'm cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. Yeah, you know that notion just crossed my mind.
Ooh, I guess I should have done that on main and not on Mirage, but that's okay. So, now the next thing that I wanted to do with regard to these, this look is that if we look here, we see that the text looks rather different. So I want to remind myself, excuse me, about what the font and stuff is here.
Casey, don't you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. Yeah, you know that notion just crossed my mind. This old inn, red and red.
This is Noto Sans Semibold.
Just crossed my mind.
So this is coming in as Noto Sans, but it's not semi-bold. So I think that for that we need to do... This should go in the regular.
Trouble with you, trouble with me. Got two good eyes, but we still don't see. Come round the bend, you know it's the end.
So these should be H2s, and I think that that sounds about right. They shouldn't be H3s. So the logic is that the H1 is always wander text, and then the well, maybe that does make sense. The H1 is always wander text because it's the title of the site as a whole, and then the H2 is the, like, quote-unquote header. But I mean, this is, I guess, a little bit up for interpretation. Does the H1, like, is the H1 of a news article in the New York Times, is the H1 supposed to be New York Times, and then the H2 is like Metro, and then the H3 is the actual headline of the article? I don't know. These are aspects of semantic markup I don't quite have a good grasp on. So let's keep these H3, despite what it says here. And then let's make this, this will be the H3. This will be the H4. And so let's,
driving the train, I'm broken.
Gates don't better. Watch your speed. Trouble ahead,
trouble behind.
and you know that notion just crossed my mind.
Driving the train, I'm broken.
Gates don't better. Watch your speed.
Trouble ahead, trouble behind.
If you know that notion just crossed my mind.
Driving the train, I'm broken.
Gates don't better. Watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. If you know that notion just crossed my mind. And you know that notion just crossed the mind.
okay, so the
Hey, we're
H1
gonna take
is
a
this
short
font
break.
Elsie from
And we'll be back in a
Google.
few minutes. And so we'll see you then.
I don't have it here.
Okay, for anyone who tuned in late and for all the people here, the Grateful Dead.
Trucking, got my chips cashed in. Keep trucking like the do-not man. Together, more or less in line. Just keep trucking.
typical city involved in a typical daydream. Hang it up and see what tomorrow brings.
Challenge by the soft machine. Houston, too close to New Orleans. To New York, got the ways and means. I just won't let you be. Oh no.
True love. Most of the time they're sitting and crying at home. One of these days they know they better be going out of the door and down to the street all alone.
Looking like the two-dollar man once told me you got to pay your hand. Sometimes cause it worth the dime if you don't lay 'em down.
Okay, so now it's coming in as semi-bold, like I wanted it
All shining on me.
to. These do not yet.
The times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me. What a long, strange trip it's been.
What in the world ever became a sweet train? She lost her sparkle, you know she isn't the same. Living on reds and vitamin C and cocaine. All a friend can say is ain't it a shame.
Trucking up to Buffalo, I've been thinking you got to mellow slow. Takes time, you pick a place to go. Just keep trucking. Oh, oh, oh.
Sitting and staring out of the hotel window. Got a tip, they're gonna kick the door in again. I like to get some sleep before I travel. But if you got a one, I guess you're gonna come in.
Busted down a Bourbon Street.
I'm a little bit rusty on my tailwind classes today,
Gets to
apparently.
wear it thin. They just won't let you be.
You sick of hanging around and you like to travel. Get tired of traveling, you wanna settle down. I guess they can't revoke your flow for trying. Get out of the door, let them look over.
Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me. What a long, strange trip it's been.
Okay, this looks better. Okay, so now when it's truncated, it looks like that. I mean, I guess I would
Whoa, whoa, baby,
prefer it if it were maybe condensed, but
so down and touch my bones. Get back trucking. Oh, 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 oh. And now get back trucking on. And now get back trucking on.
I wonder.
And now get back trucking on. And now get back trucking on. Get back trucking on. Get back trucking on. Get back trucking on.
Hey, now get back, trucking on. Hey, now
Get back, trucking on.
Hey, now get back, trucking on.
Get back, trucking on. Get back, trucking on. Get back, trucking on.
You'll understand if we take a moment to tune up.
I mean, this is super cool for me to just be looking at all of the Noto fonts, but it doesn't make for very interesting streaming. So let me just see if there's a condensed in here. No, there isn't. Okie dokie. So, okay, so maybe it just can't be done. Or it's something to think about later. Now, the question here is
Just like Jack the Ripper.
whether this actually looks like...
Just like Mojo Hand. Just like Billy Sunday.
So it says the font weight is 600.
Just like New York City.
So 700 would be completely bold. So I guess this is a sort of semi-bold.
Pace the halls.
It's
Climb the
hard
walls.
to tell.
Beat it before they blow. Did you say your name was Rambling Rose? Ramble on, baby. Settle down easy.
Yeah, maybe it's thinner.
Ramble on, Rose.
Okay, so... And then we took care of that.
Just like Jack and Jill. Papa told the jailer, one go up, one go down, leaving nothing for the jailer. Just like Jack and Jill. Papa told the jailer, one heat up and one cool down. Do yourself a favor. Did you say your name was Rambling Road? Ramble on, baby. Settle down easy. Ramble on, road. I'm gonna sing you 100 verses in ragtime. I know this song ain't never gonna end. I'll march you up and down the local county line, take you you to the leader of a band.
So, if this is supposed to be the H2, we should make it the H2.
Just like Crazy Otto, just like Wolfman Jack, sitting plush with a royal flush, aces back to back. Just like Mary Shelley, just like Frankenstein, clank your chains and count your change, and try to walk the line. Did you say your name was Ramblin' Rose? Ramble on, baby. Settle down easy. Ooh, ramble on, Rose. I'm gonna sing you 100 verses in ragtime. You know this song, it ain't never gonna end. Gonna march you up and down the local county line, take you to the leader of a band. Goodbye, Mama and Papa. Goodbye, Jack and Jill. The grass ain't greener, the wine ain't sweeter on the far side of the hill. Did you say your name was Ramblin' Rose? Ramble on, baby. Settle down easy. Ramble on, Rose. Ramble on, Rose.
Well, at the risk of being repetitious, we're going to do another song in the key of D. Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, feeling nearly faded as my jeans. Bobby flagged the diesel down and just before it rained, took us all the way to New Orleans. I took my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana, blew inside while Bobby sang the blues. With them windshield wipers clapping time and Bobby slapping hands, we finally sang, "You're ever song that driving knew." Freedom, just another word for nothing left to do. Nothing ain't worth nothing, but it's free. Feeling good was the Robin McGee.
This seems like the smarter way to do this.
The coal mines of Kentucky to the California sun. Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. You're standing right beside her, Lord, through everything I've done. When Bobby's body kept me from the cold.
So the reason I'm doing it this way is because now I only set the title in one place up here on the first line, and it adjusts what will end up in this header thing, which currently is nothing, and also sets the page title. So those should always be the same, and now they're guaranteed to be the same. So now I just have to do this for every template again. So I did it for, nope, not yet.
Freedom, just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing was all she left for me.
Let's record a macro.
Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me, Bobby McGee. Baby, la, baby, la, la, baby, la, baby, la, body lay high, body lay high, body la, baby, lay high, baby, lay high, baby, lay high, baby, lay high, body la. Nothing left to lose. Nothing ain't worth nothing but it's free. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me, Bobby McGee.
Fare you well, my honey. Fare you well, my only true love. All the birds.
Oy, this getting this macro right is gonna take up all this time. Okay, this time let's do. Ah, no! Stop. Okay, this time we'll do it for real.
this broke down palace on my hands and my knees. I will roll, roll, roll. Make myself a bed by the wall side. In my time, I will roll, roll, roll. In a bed by the waterside, I will lay my head.
Okay, I think that did the trick there.
Sweet songs to rock my soul.
Contributors. Now let's try credits. All right, work.
River, gonna
Nope.
take me, sing me sweet and sleepy. Sing
Could have sworn I started the macro with jump up to the top, but now it works fine.
back home.
Except that it says contributors there, but that's okay. I mean, that's by design. Credits.
Years ago, Mama, man.
Oh no! Oh, this is supposed to be in pipe. That's okay.
Going home by the waterside. I will rest my bones. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul.
Help index skip login. Login is all correct. Places.
Gone to plant a weeping willow on the bay's green edge. It will grow, grow, grow. Sing a lullaby beside the water. Lovers come and go forever.
Oh, because I hadn't done it for this yet, so that explains why this breaks.
Fare you well, I love you more than words can tell. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul. Do-do-do.
Okay. So now, can I remember the syntax for buff do? Buff do. It's a pipe.
The other day we waited.
So that's correct.
Sky
That's correct.
dark and faded.
That's ignored.
Solemnly
That's correct. That's correct.
He has to die.
That's correct. That's ignored. That's correct. That's correct.
And all the children learning.
Excellent. Okay, so now the whole reason I was doing all of that was because now in the component's header, oops,
Every leaf was turning.
I can, in this div, put in an H2 that's only for screen readers and that has the title.
The summer sun looked down on him. His mother could but
So now
him.
it has this,
All the other sound on him. But it doesn't seem to matter. And when the day ended, with rainbow colors blended, his mind remained unbended. He had to die.
help. Credits, contributors, login, text, privacy, places. I was supposed to be taking my break, but this is my jam right now. All right. Well, you all rock out too while I go take my break. I'll be gone for about 10 minutes. So, and then we'll continue having fun.
this lady come to me, she lays on me this drug. Rainbows spiral round and round and tremble and explode. They left the smoke crater of a mind I like to blown away. He come round and busted me for smiling on a cloudy day.
Coming, coming, coming around.
Coming around,
Coming around.
coming around,
Coming,
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 coming around.
coming around,
Coming around.
coming around.
There we go. I'm back, and have not been keeping up with the checkboxes here, but I've been doing some doing the work on the CSS, and I solved the problem I had, and then since then I've been doing a little bit of general styling cleanup, and the most recent addition was to add the was to add this H2 here so that when a screen reader type situation comes to this page, even though it doesn't look like there's a title for it or like a header for it, there actually is. It's just hidden. Here it is, H2 text. Is that sufficient? Is that user-friendly? I don't know. It's something to consider. I think that like much of, like if it's had the little icon or if it's a text here, that would strike me as a little bit much. But maybe it's the appropriate solution. I'm not sure. Okay, so we have this all going and it truncates nicely. See? Look at those ellipses truncating. Okay, so that all looks good, and then kind of the question is, where do I go from here? Well, part of that answer is that I have the checkbox, or well, it's up now, the checkbox. So the next thing to do is to do this gesture stuff. So let's save this. Just for laughs, because of where we are right now, let's switch over to production. And let's merge in what's on main. And then this is going to get reflected on wandertext.space, so, you know, people can see what's going on. So back to main. Okay. So, testing gestures. Now, I can't remember what I've talked about. Here, let me switch this view. I can't remember really what I've talked about so far regarding doing gestures in my Ember app, like with the phone. I thought I had it working, and then it wasn't working, and then I thought it was because I was working from two different, all this kind of crazy stuff. But I think that I've reached a point with the Hammer library where I think it's working, but I'm having difficulty testing it. So here is where I'm at. So I am not doing this in the app, in the wandertext app per se, because I had this idea instead to make an add-on for it. So it's called Ember on Touch. And so the point of the on touch, you can look on GitHub because it's already there.
It trembled and exploded.
I think.
The bus stop in its place.
I haven't pushed the README yet.
That's when it all began.
But the idea is to have a helper
Coming around,
Coming around,
coming around,
coming around, coming around.
So is to have this helper that does things when you tap here, right? And I don't I don't remember what the current actual state of the app is, what it's doing when I do the tap. Okay, so it says callback and it gives some kind of object here. So this is the pointer event. It says pointer type mouse. Okay, so now we can do a couple things here. So actually that's useful to see. So we have this pointer type. Okay. So the way this works is there's this modifier. Oh, no, it's all this stuff is in the controller, actually. Tests, dummy, app, controllers, application.js. So when you the callback, it says callback, and then it says blah. Blah is whatever it's getting here. So I can do pointer type. It should say callback and mouse. Okay, excellent. So now instead of doing console log here, let's do alert. There's a reason for this. So it alerts mouse. So now let's fire up the simulator.
know he had to die. Had to die. You know he had to die. Well, you know he had to die.
I was thinking during the break about how the show hasn't had a Dark Star yet. And I never saw The Dead live. I don't feel particularly bad about that. I have no real opinion one way or the other. But I was very much inducted into the magic of Dark Star in some way. Like, it's a super special song, etc., etc. And I guess I never really appreciated how rare it is, in the sense that just picking shows based on popularity and for every so that the date matches the date of this stream. We haven't hit a Dark Star yet. We will eventually. It has to happen, assuming the stream goes on long enough. But like, how many times have we had the other one? I think we had one last week, and I love the other one in critical development, but it's a common song. And then like some of the first set stuff, like Brown Eyed Women, we didn't hear Brown Eyed Women, like Playing in the Band or something. These are like every show you hear them, it feels like. But how many War Frets have we had like right now? But no Dark Stars yet, so we'll see. Okay, so let's go to the app. Excellent. Okay. So it comes in as a touch here, but mouse in the other one. So it's distinguishing. Now the problem is that, and I think I knew that this was working. So tap includes click, and I think that there's a way to get around that, but I'm not too fussed about it right now. And but now if I do, so now let's look at the test.
I got no time, but I got some time to be slowly. My name is August West, and I love my Pearly Baker best more than my wife.
So I have this sort of weird stuff going on here.
More than my wife. More than my maker, there is no friend of mine.
So let's change this to text.
Everyone says I'm up to no good. I know I'm pretty unique now. Half of my life I spent doing time. Some of the fun was crying. The other half found me stumbling around, drunk on burgundy wine. But I'll get back on my feet someday. Good Lord willing.
Okay, so now it displays this inner text. So let me change this callback so that it instead has
I know that the line I'm living's no good.
actually, let's do this way.
I'll get a new store. Live a life I should. I'll get up and fly away. I'll get up and fly away, fly away. Burning me true. True to me, true to my dying days. And I said to him, I said to him, I'm sure she's been.
So what I'm doing here is I'm changing the callback on this button so that it actually changes the text. So now it says you tapped me.
Got up and wandered.
If I reload, gets back to tap me, and then you tap me.
I wander downtown, nowhere to go.
I think you clicked.
just to hang around.
Hello, tap me. I think you clicked. So the reason I'm trying to do this is because if you see, so I have here written it binds to hammer, right? And I have this tap here. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this test looks very much like this up here. So we have, so it's expecting 3 assertions. I think I can hide this or not. So it sets this property text to button text, okay, and then it sets the callback to target, and it says to tap the text to tap text. I don't know why it's not doing anything with target. So it's supposed to assert that it has the button text, and then it's supposed to assert, and then there's an assertion missing. It looks like that. So there's only 2 assertions here. So it asserts that the button says button text, and then when you tap it, it says tap text. So now let's see what happens when I is that great moment when the tests, the behavior works, but the tests don't. And so I need to, like, I'm spending time figuring out why the tests are failing, even though the behavior is, like, clearly on the screen, it works fine. So you can't really see this, so let me zoom in. This useless screen takes up all the space. Hide container. Okay, so we have this element button on touch has text button test. That passes. So that's this test here. Oops. Hello. Okay, so this test works. Has text button text. So now, oops. But here it fails. So let's just rerun just so you can see again. Okay, so it doesn't work. It doesn't change from top text to button text. So there's a bunch of possible reasons why this is happening, and among them, among the possible reasons, let's have a look-see at the controller again. Tests dummy. Okay, and let's have it log the let's see what it says for the target. Console log target. Okay, so now when I do tap me, it says I think you clicked, and oops, that's the wrong browser. Okay, so now we get, you know, the actual node here. So now if I do So instead of doing this way, well, this is the correct way to do this. Let's try this. Target inner HTML equals you. Oh, this doesn't have to be perfect. Tapped me, and then else you clicked my inner HTML. So now it's doing this, but it's not actually changing the inner HTML. So
She can dance a Cajun gorilla, like a willy four-wheel drive. She's my summer love in the spring, fall, and winter. She can make happen any man's life. Sugar magnolia, bringing that bluebell. Oh, caught up in sunshine. Come on out singing, I walk you in the sunshine. Ooh, come on, honey, come on.
okay, so here we have target is button. So it has all this stuff, and then if I scroll all the way down here, it has like inner. Oh no. What? Oh, okay. I mean, I deserve that one. HTML and then HTML. Okie dokie. And then boom. All right, so that works as expected. So now it's not changing the text via, like it's not doing an Embury change here. It's doing just a boring old inner HTML change, which, as I told my colleague Alex last week, if you're working with a framework, you should never be working with HTML, which, fair. But I'm doing tests. So inner text. Now, the reason this may not be working here is because even though the activity happens here, so what I'm trying to figure out here is if this tap actually works correctly. And it seems to be the case that this tap is coming in, and so it should change the text to tap text if it's working correctly. So now if I look at the tests, which is here, so it's, let's rerun. It's still not working. Unless I forgot to save.
Sunshine daydream, beat you in the tall tree, going where the
Now this should show up here. Oops.
blooming like a red rose.
It still doesn't work, but, and then we are, so we get this error. That's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but we're a little bit expecting it. So here I'm going to do console log in the hammer test.
Sunshine daydream, picture in the knowing, going where the wind goes.
And you can see that it's very small here, but it console logs in the hammer test. So that means it never gets into this callback for some reason. So it could be because it has this on tap, touch tap, blah blah blah. So if we do, let's add an on click and do this callback. So this doesn't have a pointer type, it seems.
Next one
or
for all you.
something doesn't seem to come through. So let's do this.
Minor, essentially, I guess, and it's in 7/4 time. That part of it.
Well, the birthdays are the
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused here. So event, target. Okay, so, and here it's telling me that event is undefined. That doesn't make any sense. There we go, mouse event. Okay, so now the question is whether, so this looks a little bit different because it doesn't have pointer type, it just has type. So now I'm a little bit curious because we have it hits twice, and both times it's a click.
Won't you come with me? What I want to know, will you come with me? Goddamn, but I declare, have you seen a light? There was a built together and balls, and the motto is don't tread on me. Uncle John's band, right onto the time. Come with me or go alone. He's come to take his children home.
So the tap comes in as a click also. So this probably... Oh, of course, it catches it because of the on click. So if I get rid of the click, that is to say, if I get rid of this on click helper here, reload. So it says about to click and about to tap, but we don't get the actual thing doesn't happen. So that's not the behavior that I want. And the sort of the glitch here is that apparently, I mean, this is a lot of, I mean, I've spent half an hour already on this because the glitch seems to be the tap, which is a built-in Ember helper, doesn't seem to be doing what I want it to do. It's not really acting like a tap because Hammer doesn't recognize it as a tap. Because this doesn't get triggered. So Hammer has a bunch of gestures that it recognizes. Swipe, rotate, pinch, all this sort of stuff, right? But it doesn't have a click gesture. So let me just add a click gesture here and see what happens if I change this to click.
Beside the rising tide. Come here, Uncle John Crab, way up through the tide.
So it still doesn't click, but I mean, so this is kind of a like glitchy thing about Hammer, which it doesn't complain if the gesture doesn't exist. Or what, like this here, this is me adding this check to see if the gesture actually exists. So it doesn't ever say like, hey, you asked for me to listen for a click, but I can't find a click. So the so the tap just doesn't, it just it doesn't trigger what Hammer is expecting to see as a tap. So how do you test this? If I look at the documentation, so sends a number of events intending to simulate a real user tapping on an element. Touch start, touch end, mouse down, mouse up, click. So it doesn't even, I mean, like, that's the weird thing, is it's not. So if I turn this click back on and I delete this click here, it's going to work, because even though I say tap, so even though it says tap here, the tap includes a click. And let me reload. And so you see about to tap, and then it says click. So click through. So the tap did the, I think that this is focusable. I mean, it doesn't really matter. One way or another, it ends up with a click at the end. But, you know, these are supposed to be a tap. So, like, touch start kicks in. But, you know, am I going to do on touch start? No, the whole point is to be able to use the hammer stuff. So, yeah, so this is confusing and not at all apparent how to fix this. So, idea one, and this'll definitely be how we close off today.
I wanna tell you how it's gonna be. You won't be giving your love to me. I wanna love you night and day. You know I love and I fade away.
So Hammer has this thing called the simulator, right? And it's just this one file, and it's super long, well, 500 lines, and it, you know, it's a simulator. And the way that it's used in the Hammer tests. So I get wary, because then I'm just, you know, you don't want to test the external library, because the external library has tests precisely for that reason. But there's no way for me to test to make sure that my add-on is actually doing what it says it's doing, because I can't fake. So so the problem would be that I'm creating a, if I just use simulator, then I am so let's have a look at simulator, and let's see what it says for tap. Okay, so tap has this, you know, it's one touch. It has a duration of 100 and a position of 1010. I don't know what that's particularly important for. So it's a function, element options. Okay, options equals merge. That sounds good. Done. Var touches equals get touches. Trigger touches. Okay, so let's have a look-see at the tap. How did they implement tap here? So it does this fire event element touch start and then touch end. So fire event it gets from inside. Simulator events trigger, I think is what we were looking at. So it gets touches, element, and type. Touches for each touch.
Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Hey, yeah. Don't wanna be treated so well. Going where the water tastes like wine. Where the water tastes like wine. Where the water tastes like wine. Don't wanna be treated this way. Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Hey, hey. Wanna be treated so
And these are all just the different. simulator comes in here as it's like this global, so I want to find
Going where the one
where it gets like
Going where the
imported.
climate suits my clothes. Going where the climate suits my clothes. Don't wanna be treated this way.
Yeah, see this.
Going down the road, feeling bad.
I mean, maybe.
Feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Hey. Wanna be treated this way. Listen to me.
So I already have the simulator in the package.
Going down the road, feeling bad.
In the package JSON here, so it should be in node modules. Yep, hammer simulator. So I should be able to test index.html, and then here, I guess hypothetically, I can add that script tag. Okay, so that didn't work.
Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Don't wanna be treated this way.
So the script file it doesn't load, and it's required because it's designed in such a way that it attaches the capital S simulator variable whatever to the window object, and I don't know if I can import it because it doesn't export, like it's just a self-running function. So I mean, I guess I can try this. Let's get rid of this. Oops. So it's just some kind of okay, that's not gonna work. So yeah, so I don't, you know, like this is pushing the extent of my JavaScript knowledge to the edge, because I don't know how to get simulator into here, because that code doesn't look like, you know, it's not a module, it's like a function. So yeah, and now I have a headache, and it's 2 of, so I'll close this now and try to figure this out in a little bit more detail, and I guess maybe next week that's what I'll do. Like, what I'm sort of imagining is rewriting the tap helper to be a bit more like the simulator in Hammer, which seems so what's the word? Encapsulate? I don't remember exactly, but it seems like so tied to the actual Hammer stuff that, I mean, well, maybe it'll be useful. Like maybe it's a part of the add-on. It's just these helpers. Who knows? So maybe that's what I'll do next week. Maybe I'll work on that in the next couple days. I don't know. But I will see you all next week. So bye-bye from Columbia, and I'll let the song play out to the end. Ciao.
Thank you very much. See you later, people.